Welcome to my channel Tech Set Go. There's something special about products that refuse to disappear quietly. Most technology comes and goes. One year it's the talk of the town, and the next year it's gathering dust in the back of a drawer. But every so often a product line becomes more than just a product. It becomes part of a culture, part of a community's shared history. The Fujifilm X Pro series is one of those rare cases. It's not just another mirrorless camera line, it's a statement. It's a deliberate rejection of trends that come and go in the photography industry. And now, after years of silence, cryptic answers, and growing doubts, Fujifilm has officially confirmed it. The X Pro 6 is real. This isn't a small refresh or a token update. This is a major return for photographers who've been waiting, hoping, and sometimes even doubting. This moment is huge. Fujifilm has put the X Pro 6 on its official roadmap, and in doing so, they've sent a message to their community. We still believe in what this series stands for. The long silence said, "Oh, understand why this is such a big deal. We need to go back a bit." The last time Fujifilm released a new XPRO camera was in 2019. That was the X Pro 3, in tech terms. 2019 feels like a lifetime ago. Since then, the company has released multiple new cameras. The X-T6 with its high-resolution 40-megapixel sensor, the XH2 with 8K video recording, and more. Those models grabbed headlines, pushed technical limits, and satisfied photographers who wanted the latest features. Stock. But for a certain group of photographers, something was missing. The X Pro series had been left behind, a unique shooting experience. It offered the hybrid optical electronic viewfinder, the rangefinder style design. The deliberate pace it encouraged simply wasn't available in any other Fujifilm model. And as the years passed, many began to wonder if it was gone forever. The speculation only grew with Fujifilm's silence. In online forums, photographers would ask, has Fuji discontinued the X Pro line? Was the hybrid viewfinder just an experiment that's now over? No clear answer came until now.
Yes.
Why the XPRO matters to see why the X Pro 6's return is so important. You have to understand what the X Pro series represents. In a world where cameras are getting faster, more automated, and more smart every year, the X Pro line is about slowing down. It's about the craft of photography, not just the technical result. The X Pro 3, for example, had a hidden LCD screen. You couldn't constantly check your shots after each click. Something called chimping. In photography circles, that was a bold and controversial design choice. Some loved it because it forced them to focus on capturing the moment instead of reviewing the image. Others hated it because it removed a convenience they relied on, but that was the point. The X Pro series was never about pleasing everyone. It was about offering a particular kind of experience. That's why for photographers who value intention over speed and composition over automation, the X Pro line is something unique. It invites you to think before you press the shutter. The official confirmation in a recent conversation with a Fujifilm product lead, Yugi Irashi. The news finally came. The X Pro series is still part of the roadmap. Those words may seem simple, but they carry a lot of weight. It's not just about the product, it's about trust. Fujifilm is telling its loyal base, we haven't forgotten you. We're taking our time to make this right. This isn't going to be just a cosmetic refresh. The way I described it, this will be something special. Not just a recycled sensor or a small ergonomic tweak, but a leap forward. Why it's called the XPRO 6. You might be wondering why Fujifilm is skipping the Expo 4 and 5, going straight to 6. Part of the reason might be cultural. In Japan, the number 4 is sometimes avoided because it sounds like the word for death. But skipping directly to 6 also sends a clear signal. This is a big generational jump. It's not just the next step in the sequence. It's a new phase that suggests we might see Fujifilm's next-generation sensor and processor debut in this model. Right now, Fujifilm's top models use the 5th-generation 40-megapixel Extra NCMOS 5HR sensor and the X Processor 5. These are already excellent, offering high resolution, great color reproduction, fast autofocus, and strong video performance. But for the X Pro 6 to make a real splash, it might go beyond that. If Fujifilm unveils a 6th-generation sensor here, it would mean the X Pro 6 is not just keeping up. It's leading the way for the brand. That would explain why the camera has taken so long to appear. Developing a new sensor takes years of research, design, and testing. to make sure it delivers not just sharp images, but images with the right color, dynamic range, and noise performance. What photographers want, of course, new internals alone won't make the X Pro 6 a hit. The community has been clear about what they'd like to see. First, the hybrid viewfinder. This is the heart of the XPRO experience. It lets you switch between an optical view and an electronic view, combining the charm of a rangefinder with the flexibility of a digital camera. The technology has advanced since 2019. A sharper electronic viewfinder with a higher refresh rate and better color accuracy would be a big upgrade. The optical side could also benefit from improved clarity and less distortion. Second, body design. X Pro 3 already had a classic look, but it was a bit large for some users. Slightly more compact ergonomic design would make it easier to carry all day. Weather sealing is another must-have. This is a camera many people will take into the streets, into bad weather, into unpredictable conditions. It needs to be tough. Third, the screen. This is a tricky subject. The hidden LCD of the XPRO 3 was daring but polarizing for the X Pro 6. Many are hoping for a more flexible solution. Perhaps a two-way tilting screen, not a fully articulated vlogging display, but something useful for shooting at different angles while keeping the camera discreet. Fourth, performance. The X Pro 3 is starting to feel slow compared to modern cameras. Autofocus needs to be faster and more accurate. The light performance should be improved, and image processing should feel instant. If this is going to be a camera for 2026, it needs to be quick, without losing its thoughtful nature. The release time hasn't given a date yet. But looking at their typical release cycles and the scale of what's being hinted at, 2026 seems likely. That's a long time to wait, but it makes sense. If they're developing a new sensor, refining a new body design, and updating the hybrid viewfinder, all while keeping the X Pro's identity intact, that takes time. Why wait for the X Pro 6? Some people might ask, why wait for this instead of buying one of Fujifilm's newer models like the X-T6? The answer is simple. X Pro is different. It's not about having the fastest burst rate or the most megapixels. It's about how it feels to shoot with it. It's about the experience. For street photographers, the XPRO's design lets them blend in, capturing moments without drawing attention. For travel photographers, it offers a compact but powerful tool. For portrait photographers, it delivers. Fujifilm's renowned color science and a body that encourages thoughtful composition. In other words, the X Pro 6 isn't just a camera, it's a creative partner. The high expectations, of course, with this much build-up, the pressure is intense. The community won't be satisfied with nostalgia alone. The X Pro 6 has to deliver both emotionally and technically. If it's just a retro shell with outdated performance, it risks being dismissed as a novelty. But if Fujifilm can blend the charm of the X Pro design with cutting-edge capabilities, it could set a new standard. This is the challenge Fujifilm now faces, and it is exactly why so many people are watching closely. Story of the Fujifilm X Pro 6 isn't just about specs or release dates. It's also about the relationship between a brand and its most loyal fans. In a world where camera technology changes faster than ever, patience is rare. Photographers are constantly told that they need the newest features to stay relevant. But the X Pro line has always been different. It doesn't fight for attention with flashy marketing or by claiming to be the best at everything. It earns trust in a quieter way, by being consistent in what it offers and clear in who it is for. The gap between the XPRO 3 and the upcoming X Pro 6 has given this story a special kind of tension. Every year that passed without news was like another page in a mystery novel. Some believe the silence was strategic, that Fujifilm was waiting for the right moment to make a big statement. Others thought the company had quietly moved on, focusing instead on more profitable and mainstream models. The truth, as it turns out, sits somewhere in between, as Fujifilm was focusing on other lines, but that didn't mean the X Pro was forgotten, was being protected until it could evolve in a way that was worth the wait. When Igarashi from Fujifilm finally confirmed that the X Pro is still part of the roadmap, it wasn't just a technical update. It was reassurance for photographers who see their gear as more than just tools. Hearing that the XPRO still has a future felt like hearing from an old friend who has been away for a long time. There's a certain comfort in knowing that a design philosophy you value hasn't been abandoned. Why does this matter so much? Because, in the mirrorless camera market, it's rare for a product to have such a strong personality.